we are having a conversation about hip hop, Black religiosity, spirituality, art, the connections between art and culture and Black life, in what we might call a storm within a storm. We are literally in the midst of uprisings that have been a response to old inequities that have been exacerbated also in a pandemic. So let's just start by setting the context. Give us some more. I want to give you a moment to talk about the moment that we're in, and just to ground us before we jump into some other questions.
In light of this moment, perhaps the most popular language that has shown up over the last 3 or 4 months has been unprecedented, right? When we think about COVID and the pandemic, and certainly there is something new in this moment, but I think especially in the context of thinking about something like the course I'm teaching this summer on African American studies, those of us who've been thinking about this are not surprised, right? There's so much that is not new. We can think about the long history of racial exclusion that we've been, that has fomented the rebellions, riots, uprisings, however we might want to name the protests of the last few weeks, that there is something that is part of a much longer tradition of response and speaking back to a long history of white supremacy as it took the form of enslavement, the strong history of protest, the long Black freedom struggle up through Jim Crow segregation, and even as we get to what folks call the movement into the promised land with the passage of civil rights legislation in the 1960s, and we think about the rubrics tonight around hip hop, it's impossible to imagine this music without thinking about the riots and rebellions of the 1960s and 1968 in the aftermath of King's assassination, right? So there is so much that would seem to be unprecedented, but there's a way in which the African-American story is about a long flowing movement that responds in particular ways to moments like this that are new yet strangely familiar.